One of the Philadelphia Eagles quarterbacks actually speaks during the offseason, and it's not the veteran. All that and more coming up next.
All right, let's forget all the other questions and get to the most important one. Who's the starting quarterback on opening day for the Philadelphia Eagles?
That's a great question. I tell you that I'm putting the work in on my end, trying to build those relationships with my guys. I'm excited for this offseason, just excited to take that next step. So regardless of what's what, I'm challenging myself to, be the best quarterback I can be. Learn from my mistakes. As a team, learn from my mistakes from, last year. Personally, those 4 games that I got the opportunity to get my feet wet in and, take off next year.
All right,
Coach Brian is like family. I've known him since I was 4 years old. My dad actually coached him at Baytown Lee High School. So I grew up watching him play, got a lot of love for him. And crazy how it works. He was actually recruiting me to go play at Mississippi State. When Dak left, ended up going to Alabama. Thought about going to Florida to go the second time, my second recruiting process when I was transferring. Ended up going to Oklahoma. So now it's kind of all fell into the right place, I guess. So I'm excited to be working with him.
Yeah, you've been part of a lot of quarterback competitions in both college and in the NFL. I'm curious to know, because I do think it's different in the NFL. Very much of a business-type environment that's there. There's money involved. There's careers involved. Do you notice a difference in competition within a quarterback room, say when you were at Alabama or Oklahoma and then being in Philadelphia?
Well, it's always been a business in college, in the pros, and I understand that, one thing that I do and I always have done is just try and keep the right mentality. I control what I can. I've always been that way and I always will be that way. So, the main thing I can control is my work ethic, my effort, where my head's at, the relationships I have with those around me, and just building as a man, building as a player, and, always being rooted in my faith.
Well, what do you think you need to work on specifically to win that starting job? Where do you need to improve as a quarterback at the National Football League level?
I think simply just leveling up on every part of my game, building those relationships with the coaches we have, and seeing it from the point, or seeing it how they see it. I think that's always pivotal, and ultimately I think creating an identity, having that identity for what we want to be. How they want to go about it. So I think that's a big point for me, and I think that'll help me as well as a player. The team things will definitely help individual success.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wilde. This is Bar 4133, and welcome back to the Eagles News Now podcast. Now, as you saw, Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, second-year player, speaks during the offseason as he spoke today. It is Super Bowl week, so players are doing a lot of interviews. Now, Jalen Hurts is the first Eagles quarterback, actually one of the first Eagles players to speak during this whole coaching change. And I was very impressed with what he had to say when asked the question. Of course, it was going to come up on the quarterback competition between himself and $100 million man Carson Wentz. And he basically said all the right things, as you saw when he said that he was going to challenge himself to become the best quarterback that he could be, and form relationships with his players. And also, and I find this so interesting, they asked him about Brian Johnson, the quarterback coach, and he has a really, really good relationship with this guy. I'm starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together in my brain, and the more that time goes on, I think that Jalen Hurts has the edge on Carson Wentz as far as becoming a starting quarterback here. Now, that's just my opinion. I could be 100% wrong on that. After I'm done speaking, I'm going to put a little bit of a bonus clip of Jalen Mills speaking on the quarterback position. Now, he probably won't even be a Philadelphia Eagle, but he was around both players last year, and his answer is a little bit more cookie cutter. I thought Jalen Hurts handled himself really well during this interview that he did with CBS Sports HQ. It does annoy the hell out of me that all offseason, and since he's been benched, we haven't heard anything from Carson Wentz, who's supposed to be the leader of this team. And I use the word leader, as you'll see what Jalen Mills says. One of the words to describe Jalen Hurts is leader, as many people, many players, many of his teammates throughout the years, whether it's Oklahoma, whether it's Alabama, have said that this kid is a natural-born leader. He's already starting to win me over. Again, speaking during this difficult time, I think it takes a bunch of balls and handling himself really well. And that's all I got for you guys. Stay tuned. Super Bowl week, bunch of content coming up from me personally, and just it's one of the best times of the year to be a football fan. That's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And those Kansas City Chiefs get ready to play each other. I will be doing a mini preview leader. See, leader. I cannot get the word out of my head. Later in the week, I'll do a preview video for the Super Bowl. Guys, hope you guys are being safe and staying healthy out there. As always, I'll see you later. Go Birds.
Starts on opening day. Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts?
Ah, man, you're gonna throw one at me, a hardball at me right now. I can't say, man. I can't say, because you got a guy like Carson who's been there. You know, he had the crazy year in 2017, and we know that he kind of didn't play up to that this year. He knows that. You know, he's a fiery competitor, a guy who wants to be perfect at everything that he does. And then you got a guy like Hurts who's, you know, a leader, a guy who's won at Alabama, he won at Oklahoma, and then he came in and he had a really, really good rookie season, even though he started late during the season. I think you let those guys battle it out, man. During camp, you know, you let those guys battle it out, and whoever is the best man, you know, that's the guy who's going to be your starter day one. 3-8-3-L